Welcome back to Wild, Wise and Curious, Embracing Our Journey, where we're excited to continue the conversation around all things peri and beyond. We'll continue to explore all our stories, challenges and importantly the wisdom we learn along the way. As usual, we'd love to chat with women just like you who might like to share your own perimenopause or postmenopause stories with us. We can't wait to chat with you. Today we're going to be talking to another of our guests, Maria, about her perimenopausal journey. Maria's going to be telling us a little bit about her story, and we really hope you enjoy the episode. So we're just going to say welcome. So welcome, Maria. Welcome to Wild, Wise and Curious.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So Maria, how did you sort of like come to realise that you were perimenopausal?
So I would say since I was probably about 15, I've always been sort of slightly an anxious person. And so I think I just lived with that because I just thought that's who I was. Okay. But my sister, Michelle, she went through her own journey and ended up on HRT. And it seemed to get rid of all of those feelings for her. So I thought it might actually be a really good thing for me to do. And it definitely was.
So was it more at that time? It was anxiety.
It was anxiety. It was my main thing, but I had sort of learnt to live with it because I didn't know I could get rid of it really without probably taking antidepressants or things like that. And for some reason in my head, I didn't want to take those. Don't know why, but it was just one of those things that I didn't want to take, which maybe I should have done. But I wasn't depressed at the same time. Yeah. It was more like an anxiety feeling. So I went to Newson, a private HRT clinic, and I'm now on HRT. So I have, is it Oestrogel?
Yeah,
is that
Oestrogel.
Right? Oestrogel.
Yeah.
And then I have testosterone, and they have taken away all of my anxiety. I'd say they've taken away 95% of my anxiety. Probably like sort of when I'm due on my period, I'll still have 1 or 2 days where I feel a little bit off, but it is nothing in comparison to what I was before. And I think also the fact now I've been on it for 3 years. So at that point I had a 3-year-old, and having anxiety and having a 3-year-old, I didn't like it because I didn't want to feel like I was going to have a panic attack when I was out with her somewhere. So for me, it was very important at that stage. And yeah, it's helped.
Yeah. Okay, so mainly anxiety then. So did you notice any other symptoms? Or, I mean, for me, I've found that since I've gone down this whole rabbit hole of perimenopause, I've realised that there were so many other indicators I hadn't realised.
Yeah, so I would say I would get rashes on my feet.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying about those.
Under my chin, really bad. And then I started to become irritable of certain materials. So tights, if I wear tights, my legs are like itching, just the tops of my legs. Yeah. But I'm literally like, I really want to scratch them. You know, when you have to stop yourself scratching.
Yeah.
So what else? Tiredness, low mood, but nothing major. That was always there, but. Which I'd had for quite a few years, but it was only 2 or 3 days a month when I was due on, and it was just that was getting longer. So it was like 2 weeks out of of the month, which obviously is a lot harder to live with. 2 days, 3 days a month, you can do.
Yeah,
you can think, right, starting now, it's going to be done. But it was getting so it was like, right, have you finished yet? It's not. It doesn't seem to be stopping.
It's going to finish.
Yeah. So when I seen it work for Michelle, I was like, I definitely need to do that now. And it's got rid of 95% of it, definitely.
95% of
the anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah. I still have my little wobbles, but nothing major, really.
Yeah, that's part of life, I think.
I think it is. Yeah.
It makes me wonder, though, and I think I've said it to you before, Maria, about wondering, like, how much, whether we've had, like, little hormone imbalances like all your life and never really known about it.
And that's what I was actually thinking of, just that, when you were saying that since you were 15. I mean, that makes absolute sense, that maybe your hormones were just out of balance for quite a while.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. It's like if there was, maybe HRT would be too harsh at that age. I don't know, obviously, but if there was something that was hormone, I don't know if they looked into my hormones at that time. Maybe it could have stopped that. It could have helped.
Yeah. Because you remember as well, like, because I went through a phase where I had literally 2 periods a year for years, up until I had the kids. Yeah, and I was 27 when I had Finn. So it just makes you wonder, like looking back and remembering about the anxiety and things like that, and periods and stuff. It's almost like, have we, or I wonder how many other people are perhaps going through those times and just assuming that that's just part of life and they just have to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? When it potentially could be a hormone imbalance that we're just not kind of aware of, because the knowledge isn't, well, the knowledge is there, but maybe those conversations aren't had.
Yeah, because we automatically put it down to something else.
Yeah.
Or you're really stressed because of work, or you're going through a life transition, or
you've got
or
a 6-year-old
like
running around and thinking
exactly.
you're a climbing frame and making you pretend you're a pirate. So
and you wouldn't think of it being hormones, or like I don't know, at 15 you wouldn't have even thought that, would you? I suppose that'd be about parents knowing that could be something that they could look at. I don't know, but I think now we all talk about, I'm hoping that we're starting to talk more about menopause now and hormones and stuff, so parents will be more aware of when I don't know, if their children are going through something, I suppose.
And I suppose if you look back at, like, sensibly, like what you were saying about your youngest, how he's going into puberty, that's the word, and you're coming out of it. But it's that thing,
Well
because
remembered, Michelle.
well, so, I know we spoke about it the other episode, but if that is the case, if young people, when they're entering puberty, their hormones are all over the shop, like ours are towards the end of it. So it just begs the question, doesn't it? I think as well, and it's something that Lisa, I think, mentioned on another episode, when you've gone down a rabbit hole of really researching something because you've had not an enjoyable experience, obviously, you guys know about mine, you then think anything that comes up that has similar symptoms in it could be the same thing. Lisa mentioned it with the mold toxicity.
Yes.
With mold toxicity, the symptoms presenting very similar to perimenopause, so brain fog, anxiety, all sorts of different things. And I think you do that. After speaking to her about it, I came away thinking, yeah, I do that. Because whenever I think of someone having a bit of a mental health crisis now, particularly if they're a woman, I think, oh, well, she's 38, could that be that she's starting to go through perimenopause? So anyway.
I do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast recently, funnily enough, and there was I think she was a psychotherapist, and she was explaining about how she'd literally listed all these symptoms and then explained it as something else, and I was like, in my head I was thinking, she must have been perimenopause, because it did seem, but I think the crux of it is, it can be so many things, which is why we have this difficulty, and I think that and this is why I hark back to going, starting from scratch again, getting the basics right, because I think it can help a whole host of issues, whether it's because you're not eating right, whether it's because of hormones, whether it's because of, I don't know, whatever else is going on in your life. If we can go back to the basics and get those right, then we're going to be helping all of our systems, aren't we?
Yes.
Regardless of what the reason is. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Makes total sense. So what sort of things are you doing now, Maria, that you perhaps weren't doing before? I know you said you're on the estrogel and testosterone. What progesterone are you on, just out of curiosity? Is it eutrogestin?
Eutrogestin.
Yeah.
Two tablets a night, because I'm on 4 pumps of the gel.
Okay, so that's 2 tablets a night.
2 tablets a night every day.
Okay, yeah, because I'm on 4 pumps and I'm only on one
a
tablet.
day.
I need to get that.
I went back to the doctors, and she basically said, because I'm on 4 pumps, you should be having 2 every night.
Okay. Okay. Yes, that's.
But I'm only doing it because I've been told to.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to impact me in any way, like my moods or whatever. So I'm I'm doing it and hoping I'm doing the right thing. But I think that's what we all try and do all the time, isn't
yeah.
it? You're like, you just,
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
So I think other things I'm doing. So I take Ancient and Brave. Absolutely loved it. So
That's the collagen.
that's the collagen. So
Yeah.
true collagen. So I felt like my
duller.
hair was my hair
Yeah.
was dull. My skin was duller. I had my left knee. Used to sort of, I say click out, but I used to, if I sat in a certain way, I'd get a pain in my knee and then it'd have to click back. I wouldn't say it clicked out. That seems to have stopped. So Ancient and Brave, I felt like my hair was good, my skin was a lot better. I don't seem to get that problem in my knee anymore, whether it's linked to that or not, because I have been doing resistant training 2 or 3 times a week. So I've been doing that as well. So whether it's the training and the collagen, I don't know, but I'm doing both of those things. And then I've started taking ashwagandha about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that's supposed to help me with a little bit of stress and anxiousness, which I think I'm just trying to get rid of that last 5% that I've got.
Yeah.
And so I would say I'm starting to feel it working a little bit, but I've been told it's about 4 to 6 weeks. So I think I've still got a couple of weeks to go on that.
So you're noticing a difference with the collagen?
I'm noticing a difference with collagen, like massively, as in I noticed it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I felt like I got compliments, like people would say as well, oh, you've got good skin for your age, your hair, not like, you know, but I felt like I got that a bit. I felt like nice again when you looked in the mirror a bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like that did really work.
And you were saying about the strength training, because we have talked about that before, but we've not really gone down that
far yet.
rabbit hole, have we? Because that is something that's really highly recommended, isn't it? The strength training.
Yeah.
For bone density and that kind of thing, because that starts to
Dwindle.
Dwindle is a brilliant word.
Yeah, it is a bit, yes, you need some muscle to protect those bones.
Yes. So you're noticing a difference with that?
I'm noticing a difference with that, yeah. So I've got this lady called Cindy Bond, and she's got like a sort of a lady over 40s group where she does training classes. She'll have like a yoga class. She has like people that know about menopause coming in to talk about it. She then has loads of recipes. Like I always try and have 100 grams of protein a day as well, because we're getting a bit older. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but I probably would know if it didn't work. If I stopped doing it, it's just the way that I've been doing it, because I'm like, it's good for your muscles and, you know, a lot else. So I do feel stronger. Don't feel any slimmer with it. But I do feel like strong, you know, stronger like doing it. So, yeah, they're my things, I do at the minute, I think, to keep me young.
We were talking, keep me young,
Looking young. I did whiten my teeth over Christmas as well, because I felt they were a bit yellow, but that was like a little bit superficial.
A Christmas treat.
Yeah, and they're still not that white. I don't want white, I just want not yellow.
Yeah. Well, I've taken your advice with the Ancient and Brave collagen. You'd been telling me about that brand, the white and the collagen, for quite a while. So, and I've been going, I'm going to do it. And then literally within a week, I had 2 or 3 other people speak to me. One of them telling me that they'd had hair extensions in for the last 4 years, and they were now having their hair extensions taken out because they'd been on collagen for about 3 months. It might have been the same brand that you're on.
Yeah.
And then somebody else saying that they're having to have their hair cut about every 4 or 6 weeks because their hair is growing a lot quicker, and they like it in a particular shorter style. So they're having to have it cut loads more than they would normally because of taking the collagen. So because my hair I felt was getting thinner, and it is the one thing that I have that is quite high maintenance, and I do have extensions in my hair, but I would like to take them out because I want to kind of get older disgracefully. Okay. I want to just embrace myself and enjoy it, but at the same time, I've always had long hair. I like having long hair, but it doesn't feel the same now as it did. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to get rid of these extensions as well.
So how long have you been taking it for?
Since Monday.
You've got about a month.
Week. I'm about 4 days in.
You've got about a month. I think it is 4 or 5. I always seems to be the 4 or 5 weeks. I always say that.
My aim is
it seems to be that.
I don't know, maybe in about 4 months' time, 5 months' time, I'm hoping that instead of having them taken out, putting back in, I can have them taken out. Even if it's just a little bit thicker, because I don't really want them in for much longer. Because they're starting to, I'm just starting to get fed up of them.
But this is a good project, really, isn't it?
It is.
So you
yes. So it is like a project. I'm testing.
Yeah,
myself.
you'll be able to come back and say whether it's made any difference or not, because you're doing it in real time.
Yeah, and I literally have started it 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So I will do.
It is nice as you get older. You can get older, like disgracefully, as you put it, but you still want to look. I don't know. You want to feel well. Yeah, you want to feel well. I don't know. That's sort of. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't mind having It's probably the wrinkles. It helped with the wrinkles. I didn't want that. I didn't want them. I don't know.
Into your body because your body's naturally over time, its levels are dwindling again.
It's something we need, isn't it? It's not like just superficial. It is something we need, and we need it for like our bones, our hair, and our nails, and it's just to keep them healthy. So, but I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited to see to see what happens.
Yeah,
see what happens. As long as the hair just carries on growing out of my head and I don't get a beard. But I don't think that's a side effect.
Oh, I know,
collagen.
but
that's testosterone.
Can we talk about the
hair,
the chin hair?
Do you know what's funny is it's the first thing that whenever I talk about testosterone, the first thing that anyone says is, "Do you get hairier when you start taking testosterone?" And I didn't notice for ages and ages. And because you apply it to your outer thigh and you just make sure you swap it around. I think you can also put it on your bum cheek and stuff like that. I think they say, don't they? But I didn't really notice them. One day I was in the shower and it was a particularly sunny morning. And as I looked down, I must have been shaving my legs. And I don't shave the tops of my legs because I'm not that hairy. And as I was shaving the bottoms of my legs, I just caught sight of a real patch of dark hair. Not coarse.
Where you put the testosterone?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Really?
It was not say eyebrow hair. It was not coarse or thick. It was just very fine.
Downy,
but it was just slightly dark because I'm dark haired.
Oh.
Apart from where the grey bits come through. So it was a little bit downy. But it's nothing. And I don't apply the testosterone to my chin. So do I care about having to shave a little bit of my leg? No. So, I don't know. But so I think you're going to go on to the other little sprouters, aren't you? That decide to pop out of your chin.
Is that just an age thing?
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
I think I've always had one or two, probably since my 30s, that were the same old suspects. Every now and again they'd pop up.
Yeah.
But I think now I've probably got 6 or 7.
Do you think that now?
I do pluck them out before anyone asks.
I've had mine I've had hair laser removal.
Okay.
How did you find that?
Amazing.
Did you?
So I sound so superficial.
No, you don't.
I have had that, and it really helped for me. I didn't have many, probably like you say, 6 or 7, but I was conscious if I put my hair up, I thought they're more on show. Obviously I get rid of them, but it's like whether you'd missed one or whatever. So I went and had laser hair removal, and that really worked for me.
And how long does that kind of last for?
So you're supposed to, I think you have it about 4 or 5 times, and then it's about 5 years.
Oh, because it reduces
the amount,
the strength of the hair, I should imagine, isn't it?
and then it comes back. You have it about 4 or 5 times, and then it's about 5 years. So I did it about 10 years ago, and then I did a couple of sessions last year, and now I need to go and have another one, but I've just been a bit lazy and just a bit tighter with my money and not gone and done it, but I do need to go and have one.
I'd never even thought about that as an option.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
It was because it was, I don't know, I was thinking about it when I put my hair up and things like that, so I just didn't want it, and I love that as well, because then I'm not thinking about the hair on my chin. It's the only place that I'd have it done, I think, but that's because your face is on show.
And it's that funny thing, isn't it, where you're just doing it, you're being really thoughtful, and just like, and then all of a sudden you feel one. It's normally when you're driving and you stop at the traffic lights and you start to do this, and you're like, oh, that feels a bit sharp. Okay, look out at the car next to you. And you know full well that if it's a woman of a similar age or a bit older, a bit younger, that they know exactly what you found when you keep going like up and down on your chin in one area. But why is that? I don't understand what that is about.
I have no idea.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is bizarre. And it's funny as well how, harping back to the conversation I think we had on last week's episode, about the way we look and stuff like that.
Yes.
Why we're bothered. But I know I will, at 100 years old, still be plucking them out of my chin.
Yeah, probably won't see them though. That's the problem.
True, that's true. I'm going to be magnifying
Yeah.
But I remember, I think I used to help like our nan.
Yeah,
Nan. You used to do it as well.
Yeah, I used to.
She was always
well.
really, really conscious, and our old nan was 91, wasn't she?
Yeah,
when
she was
passed
conscious
away.
then. Yeah,
But at that age, she was still like, make sure I've got no hairs growing out my chin, and we'd have to sit there and like go, yep, and she just would say, stay so
would,
still,
yeah, she would.
She? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was conscious of it.
Yeah, she was
all the way through her life, and she passed away about, I'm going to say about 10 years ago now.
Yes, it was. It was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just after I met Stu. I think about a year or so.
So she was a 1920s, 1930s baby. Yeah. So she was conscious of it all the way through. But she was in the Air Force, wasn't she? In the war. Yeah, so she was very glam. You know, she used to do the tea-stained the tea-stained legs for the tights, and then draw your coal line up the back. And, yeah. So, so she was conscious of tweezing. And I've always been conscious. I remember going travelling when I was 19, and I remember arriving in Bangkok and going, oh shit, I've left my tweezers.
Yeah.
So there I was in Bangkok as 19-year-old. So I was having to pluck in between my eyes then.
Yeah.
Well, not having to, I chose to. Yeah. And the first thing I had to do was find a place that would sell tweezers. But yes, it's... but yeah, I don't know. It must be an older thing, because most I don't know. We kind of are led to believe that as we get older, it's one of the like jokey things, isn't it? The like, oh, you know, she's having a hot flush, or no doubt she'll have a hairy chin. It's that kind of thing that's associated. Yeah, linked. Witches, you know what I mean? Yeah. They've got hairy chins and boils. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like what, big noses and hair growing out of chins. Again, I was thinking 3 times. But yeah, so I don't know. That's interesting. So I mean, so I tweeze. I do shave my legs now and again, and like I do shave that bit off sometimes now where the testosterone goes. But it's definitely, I would say, worth it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. I get it on my legs from the testosterone. Yeah. But it's definitely worth it.
And it's not thick cut,
is it? If you're shaving your legs anyway, you might as just an extra 10-20 seconds, right?
That's why I kind of decided not to put it on my bum cheeks. I think you can put it on your bum cheek, can't you?
But
I just thought I don't want a patch of hair.
I don't want a hairy bum.
You're not necessarily going to see it either, are you?
You're not going to see it. Yeah, I can't quite reach around there. Maybe if I did naked yoga, I might be able to, but yeah, but I don't.
You're not doing that soon, anytime soon.
I'm a visual person. So.
Oh, sorry. Talking of yoga, though, you do yoga as well, don't you?
Yes, I actually really like it. That? Really good. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like, because obviously, with a 6-year-old and with work and obviously like running the house and stuff like that, I feel like at the end of the day sometimes you can be a bit buzzing, you know, I find it hard to sort of settle down. And I noticed last week when I went, I felt really buzzy when I went in, and then when I came out I felt it had removed that. I felt like I'd zoned out of like thinking about everything, and my mind had switched off, and I felt relaxed. I remember like going home after and feeling like really just like like just calm.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, so it's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
You walk as well, don't you?
I walk.
You like to walk.
I walk. A lot of that is because I walk my daughter to school and back, if I'm honest. So a lot of it is through that.
It's not like near, is it?
No.
You clock up easy 10,000 steps doing your school.
I do
run,
10,000 steps a day. Yeah. I definitely do that. But that can be with my resistant training. There's like one of the classes I do with that. Obviously, it's got like part of it where you do like you run on the spot for a while, so that gets my steps up. But obviously, then there's the resistant, like lifting weights and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm trying to do like a lot more like that. My thing that I find hard is like sugar. I just really like it.
Me too.
Not in the form of, I don't put it on anything. If I have cereal, I wouldn't put it on. I wouldn't put it in tea or anything like that. But I just like biscuits and cakes or. I don't have cakes. It's I think it's probably biscuits, or like the things I don't like having in the house are mince pies and hot cross buns because I just really like them.
Me too.
So I just
try not to buy them.
Yeah.
I resisted this morning,
but I don't know if that's a. I don't know. I think that's a menopause thing.
I think that's just
for me, part of my makeup
forever. Yeah. For me, it's a me thing, regardless of menopause.
Yeah,
but sometimes I just use it as an excuse, like, I'm feeling rubbish, I'm going to have something.
I tend to crave it a bit more when I'm really tired as well. So I've been staying up a bit later the last couple of weeks, just doing things because we've got quite a lot to do. And I always feel like I crave sugar. And while I try and do that, you try to have as little processed food as possible. Yesterday, I was actually embarrassed when I went for a wee in the middle of the night because I was like, oh my God, what did I actually eat yesterday? So I got up and had my breakfast. My breakfast is great. So I literally have blueberries, strawberries, natural Greek yogurt with honey, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds and flax seeds, and some walnuts. And then a bit later on, I was at work and someone had a birthday and someone had bought the birthday person a big box of like really swanky donuts. I would never ever say yes, but I went, oh yeah, go on then. So then instead of choosing the little round plain one, I go for the triple chocolate one.
Oh, I'd go for that.
So I had that and it had like a big dollop of creamy, thick, chocolatey fondant on the top. But I already knew that at 1:00 I was going for an Indian lunch because it was another friend's birthday at work. And I ate the donut at 11:30 before I went for my lunch at the Indian restaurant, which was absolutely amazing as always, and I still managed to eat it. Then I popped to the shop because I thought I really need some chocolate, and I ate a big bar of dairy milk and some biscuits.
Bar?
What has this got to do with you having a wee in the middle of the night?
Because it was in the middle of the night that I went,
thinking,
oh my God, what on earth was I eating today?
That's when my brain decided to think about it.
That's when my brain said, oh my God, Michelle, what the hell have you eaten today? And I also then said to myself, must do better.
I really wondered where we'd gone with that.
It was the random middle of the night wee. You know when you just sit there and you're weeing and you try and keep your eyes closed and you're trying to stay really tired and then your brain just sends a thought.
Yeah. To be honest, like it's one of the things, probably not menopause, but when I used to work in the office, they were always having buffets, and I can't resist food being there. I'll eat it if it's there, but being at home, I just have the food that I need. So I find it a lot easier working at home, because I can have my food. I can just have the healthy food in. I can do my resistant training in my lunch break. I can do.
So good.
It really works for me. It really works for me as well with having like my daughter and her being young, because I feel like I can be a part of her school life as well, and mentally to try and keep myself calm. I have a little bit of quiet time in the house, so that really helps. But one of the other things actually I've not mentioned that I probably should have mentioned earlier is to help me relax at night. I do sleep really well now, but two of the things that I use a Shakti mat, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that one of those ones with the spiky things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's because
amazing.
I think if you feel like, if you're sort of feeling like you can't calm down, generally I feel it, it's really weird, on my right side, I just feel more buzzy on that side of my body. I can't tell you why, I just do. But if I lay on it, the pins and needles just tend to take away that feeling. And then the other thing is a weighted blanket. Like, my husband hates it because he's like, you've always got that. But I use that, and it's really good. It was my mum's. I told my mum she should buy one because she doesn't like sleep very well, and I still don't think she sleeps very well. But she's like, no, I can't get on with it because you can't really move that much. So to take it off is like, you know, a bit like, it's not an effort, but it's a bit more of an effort.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Okay.
I sleep really well.
Have you always slept really well anyway?
No, I've had periods of not sleeping really well.
Was that in perimenopause?
That was in
you slept
perimenopause.
well when you were a kid, didn't you? And like as an adult.
Yeah.
Before.
I would say that was definitely perimenopause.
Yeah.
I've definitely had periods of like insomnia is a bit over the top, but I would definitely have where I'd be up for 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that was definitely like hormonal.
And that was
I'd woke up worrying, or like my brain would just be working overtime. But there were times I'd be just staring at the ceiling going, I can't sleep.
And then I'd have to wake up to a 2-3-year-old.
When my daughter,
work.
Nancy woke up about 6 or 7 times a night until she was about 2.
Wow,
So I think it was probably after that. It's probably just when I was starting my HRT. But then also I was getting used to her not waking up as much. So I think my body was in that thing of waking up because she woke up, but I think it was also worse at my time of the month sort of thing. So I think it was a mixture of both. But yeah, they really, really worked for me.
It's weird, isn't it, that the Shakti mat, because you got me onto the Shakti mat. The fact that you're lying on spikes, and initially I think I started doing about 5 or 10 minutes. Now I put it on timer for about half hour. I don't really know how long you're supposed to lay on it. But most nights I fall asleep on it.
Yeah, I do.
Really? So what is it meant for then? What is the point of it?
I think it's like relaxation.
Like relaxation.
So for me, if you can't relax at the end of the night, I put it...
Is it almost like on your acupuncture points or
Yes,
anything like that? Is it based on that
I think it is all based on your
Yeah.
acupressure points.
Oh, okay.
But it's weird. I mean, and it's just spikes, and it's literally from, I don't know, the top of the crack of your bum up to your neck. And you just lay on it, and you get a pillow with it as well. I don't get on well with the pillow because the spikes in the pillow that kind of goes into the back of your neck and to the sort of the back of your head.
Because that's quite tender there.
And it makes my back of my neck feel itchy.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit uncomfortable. Whereas on your back, I mean, when you come off of it, you're covered in pricks.
Yeah, your back's red, isn't it?
And your back's bright red. But I'm assuming that must be all the blood sort of circulating round. But it's weird.
I've just had a look in it saying it's like stress reduction, pain relief, improved circulation, better sleep, enhanced energy levels and mental clarity. It's good for.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. Just relaxes
And they're not
me.
really pricey, are they? I think mine was about 25, 30 quid, something like that. And it's like a mat, and it's just got little plastic
spikes over
on
it.
it.
It's about the size of a yoga mat sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's a bit smaller.
Yeah, a bit shorter, but it's the same width. Yeah.
Yeah, so I use those.
Yeah, that is good. I'd forgotten about the Shakti mat.
Lots of little things all together, right?
And I think that's the thing. Everything contributes, doesn't
Yes,
it, then? And I think we've talked about this before, about having all these tools in your toolbox. And then when you stop using them, you're like, I really need to start using them again because I need to get back onto, feeling on a level playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is just building, it's working out what works, isn't it?
It is.
And it's what works for you. So, and then when you feel good with something, you know that it's doing what you need it to do, but it's building it in with all the other stuff.
Yeah, starting one new thing at a time. So if it doesn't work for you, you can take that away.
And then you're not overwhelmed
Yeah.
by it, because I think sometimes when I don't know, for perhaps anyone who's like just coming into perimenopause or just kind of thinking that what's going on for them could be perimenopause, and they think, there's magnesium supplements and HRT and yoga and walking, qigong and herbal teas and ashwagandha and and everything else that we talk about and everything else that's out there. Sometimes you might, you would go a bit like, oh my God, where on earth do I start? But I think you've hit the nail bang on the head, Maria, with just literally start with one thing, because that's what we've done. And it's just the fact that we've been now in this phase for 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
and you sort of get to sort of like try out the different things that work.
Because one of the things that doesn't work for me that seems to work for everyone else is magnesium.
Yeah,
which is really
my
odd.
cupboard's just stocked up with it now because you keep giving it to me.
Yeah, see, I don't take it, but I have started putting it on the bottom of my feet. I've got a foot rub thing, and I was going to mention it actually because I've used it this week as just part of my evening routine. And literally putting it's this balm I bought from some lady at a show of some sort. She was selling some things. I thought, oh, I'll try that. And I have slept really well. And we've talked previously about the fact that I've really had problems sleeping. Yes. So there's been that, and also I have stopped looking at the clock when I get up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
I've stopped looking at the clock, and I think that's been quite a good thing to do.
That's a psychological thing, isn't
really
it? Like, oh, I've
is.
got 4 hours left in bed. I've got 3 hours. I've woken up in the last hour or so. Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like my sleep this past week has been really good, and I think that's got something to do with it. Not looking at the clock and putting this stuff on my feet as well.
Yeah. I wonder if that might be something else to try because you're bypassing the gut, aren't you? And I think sometimes when you don't take it into your gut and you put it on as a lotion or a potion, it works differently, doesn't it?
How does it affect you?
So I can be susceptible to like the anxious side of things, which, like I said, I don't get much now, but if I start taking it, then it can make me feel worse. I've tried 3 different varieties, so I've not just stuck with the same one, and then I've decided I'm just not doing magnesium. And then my friend said to try ashwagandha, and by mistake I bought this one that she got, and I hadn't even looked what was in it. And then after a few days of having it, I was like, I don't feel myself. I don't like at all. And then I looked at it on it, and it had magnesium in it. So because at first I was like, is it psychological? I've just got a thing mentally where I'm like, I don't want to take that. But it's when I don't even know that it's in something. Yeah. So then I stopped taking that, and then I got an ashwagandha, like from, not that I should say the place. I've got ashwagandha,
you can say
and it's just like pure ashwagandha. It's got nothing else in it. So that seems to be doing the job up to now.
That's really interesting, though, isn't it?
It's strange.
Like psychologically, you kind of think, well, it definitely can't be psychological because you just thought that was ashwagandha. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I got the ashwagandha with the magnesium.
Yeah, you got mine, didn't you?
But that kind of shows you that that sort of magnesium, because there's quite a few different magnesiums, isn't there? And I know some are better for you and some get into your bloodstream better, a bit like vitamin D and all the rest of it. But yeah, interesting that it wasn't like it wasn't psychological because you didn't know about it.
Yeah, but I think that again brings up the point is listening to your own body. You know your body well enough, and we can be trying all these things, and then if you know you're not feeling well on it, then it's not doing you any good. So it's tuning into our own bodies, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
To work out what's working, what makes you feel good, and do the stuff that makes you feel good, and the things that don't, you know, you need to be leaving out.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's for everything, isn't it?
Oh, God,
relationships,
really
activities.
Yes.
You know, let's chase the stuff that makes you
us happy,
makes you feel,
gives you the buzz,
makes you feel energised rather than depleted. There's lots out there that keeps us depleted, so we want to try and avoid that.
Yes.
Yeah. Finding the things that you love. You're going to have to get your guitar out.
I'll have to do
But it's going back to those things that you loved when you were a kid. I know we talked about it
we do
before.
talk about this quite a lot because actually I think it's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like when you're little and you've got that excitement to do things and something really resonates with you. And I say guitar because Maria played the guitar for quite a number of years when we were kids.
Till I was about 12.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to play it now.
You can't play now.
No, I wish I could.
But it's kind of like when you're young and experiencing and experimenting with things and something really resonates with you, I don't know, that is almost like one of the things that you perhaps meant to do. Whether it's only because you meant to do it at that time because it makes you happy at that time, or is it something that longer term you're meant to do it as part of your daily or as part of your life just because it makes you happy? I don't know. Because there's obviously so many different things. I mean, football comes up a lot in my house. I don't know about anyone else's.
Yeah, but you know, like when I was younger, I used to ski quite a lot. I was
did
very
you?
lucky. I managed to go on. I started at school. I went with school, and it was so much fun. And then me and my eldest, for our birthdays last year, we went to the Snow Dome. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. And I've completely forgotten how much fun it was. And it was the first time he'd been, and it was brilliant. So, you know, we haven't done it since, but we've got plans to do it again, because it reignited that, you know, that fun,
the passion
side
and excitement.
And
it's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I went snowboarding. I think I was early 20s, and I
Broke your wrists?
Broke both my wrists.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was on the nursery slopes waiting for the teacher, and yeah, I just kind of like was coming down a very little hill, and there was like a mound that I thought was a mound of snow, and then my speed started to pick up, but nothing fast. But I just landed wrong. I put my hands down thinking I was landing in snow, and it wasn't. It was rock hard ice, and because I've landed wrong, but I heard both my wrists go.
Oh my gosh!
And my boyfriend at the time, he was off on one of the black runs because he was pretty good at snowboarding. And so I was on my own and no one was there, and I had to undo the bindings off of the boot, carry the snowboard, and with broken wrists, and try to find doctors.
Oh my god!
In the Dolomites in Italy. I mean, looking back, it's hilarious. But
an experience.
It's an experience. It's not one of the stories that I don't actually normally tell the story this way. So I am sharing the truth with you. When I used to tell anybody else, I used to tell them that I'd done it heliboarding, where you get dropped out of a helicopter on the top of a mountain. Sounds a lot more.
The worst thing out of that
glamorous.
story is I had to drive you to work for about 2 months every morning.
Yeah, with my two arms in plaster cast, I couldn't do my bra up. I could hardly wipe my bum. It was just like.
So you've never been back snowboarding?
No, but I really want to.
Yeah,
I really. It's not put me off. It's just been one of those situational. I've just never gone round to doing it again. But actually, you just saying about that, 50. I would love to go. Yeah, 50. Damn right. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go to the Snow Dome.
You can get a
half price pass at 50.
Yeah, you can learn in a day. Like we did the learn in a day skiing, because I thought I wouldn't remember how to do it, but I did pick it up quite quickly. It's like riding a bike. Yeah. But they do the same for snowboarding, so that could be a thing for you.
If someone will come with me, like Tom, I don't know if the boys would. I don't think he's bothered about going, but I actually genuinely really would love to go. Will you come with us? Are you coming?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another thing we can tick off the 50 list.
Yeah.
But that was
great memories.
Great memories. Great memories spent, and that was on the first day. So
So I think that probably we're rounding up now for today. What do you think?
Yeah, defo. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much, Maria.
Yeah,
it's
I really
really good
appreciate
to talk.
it.
And
You're welcome. It's gone really quick.
It has gone really quick. I think we could probably carry on for about another 12 hours. Well, thanks, Maria. It's been really good to talk with you today. No doubt I'll talk with you again later and tomorrow. But thanks ever so much for tuning in. Hope you have a really good week, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Wild, Wise and Curious. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at info@wildwiseandcurious.com or reach out on our socials at wild_wise_and_curious. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.